yo, ho. Where did I put? Just had it. Now ringing in my ears. Oh, that's right here. Hey guys, Mr. Coach DJ here. Brr, 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 brr. Let me see the. Oh, flags it. What up, chat? Bad news. My headphones. I left them in my golf bag, so the headphones are dead. Let me take this watch off. My headphones are dead. So I'm using the phone microphone. Working on. Yeah. Uh, Working on getting over these bunkers. I don't do good approach shots. And on a little flippy floppy today. Um, oh, it's too hot to grab. Oh, flop. Today, chat, I am hopefully you guys can hear me clear enough. I know it's like a little bit windy, so it hits the microphone some. But I wanted to talk about the end of school, high school. Hit the flag. Um, I want to talk about the end of high school. So your end of your high school career, your senior, you're getting ready to graduate, and either you're going to college, you're going to the military, you're going to thank you. Um, you're going to work, trade school, you're going to study abroad, whatever it is, whatever you're doing after high school. Um, you're now we're a senior. We're senior, getting ready to graduate, and we're ready to go do something with ourselves. And you're starting to get nervous. You're starting to get scared. Um, Shout out to Justice. Appreciate it. Who's that? Megan? Megan Lettier? Lettier? Lettier. I'm assuming that's how you say it. You're getting ready to go to college, getting ready to graduate, and you get okay. My, but you don't know what you're gonna do. You're you're just scared. You're just scared of the end of the school year. You're not gonna see your friends anymore. You're not gonna have the safety of home. You're gonna have bills to pay. You're gonna have this and that. All these things you got to do, and it's scary and it's all this and that, right? And the thing is, everybody has to do it. Everyone, every human being on earth has to do it. They're gonna get older. They're gonna finish some first chapter of their life as a kid, and they're gonna have to move on and become an adult, right? And the thing is, ah, keep using my riff. The thing is that you guys are so um, wrapped up to your emotions, and I'm noticing now because, like, obviously, in my generation, we didn't have these problems, but what I'm noticing now is, especially being a high school teacher, dealing with a bunch of teenagers, is you guys don't express any of this. You don't say anything. You don't talk to anybody. You just keep it all bottled up, walk around all sad and in a bad mood forever. And then everybody's supposed to assume and know what's going on. And then you're all mad, you're hurt, you don't want to share your feelings, whatever, blah blah blah. And then you're sucking at life, I guess. A big bump right here, crabgrass. And it's like you just don't want help, or no one can help you, right? I'm sorry to tell you, we can help you. You just got to tell us. Ah, I was worried about hitting the camera. Hold on. Hey, you supposed to be working? Um, and I say this because not only am I dealing with this, my own kid, ah, I'm dealing with this with my students. And it concerns me because I have students that are going through struggles and turmoil in their life. And sometimes I feel like they don't have anybody that listens or they don't have anybody that cares. Um, and a lot of my kids, because they're in charter school, they're there for whatever reason. Um, they have some sort of environmental problem. They can't handle traditional school, whatever the case may be. It doesn't really matter. They're just there. So I have kids that are there needing help and support. I have this one in particular, um, kind of bothered me a little bit because there's a lot going on. This is, traditional, teenager, end of high school. I got a couple credits left kind of situation. What am I going to do next? Want to get away from home? All these things. But this particular student doesn't feel or feels like I got to get away from home. I need to graduate so I can get away, so I can go and be without all this stress, without all these issues. Got over. Without all the stress with all these issues, and I don't have to deal with this anymore. Um, but which is true. And I would say that once you become an adult and going to college or whatever you're doing, you got your own issues. You don't have to worry about other people's issues. Um, the only problem is the students having trouble making it to the finish line because of stress. Not academically, but just because of stress. And I'll share my story. So when I was in high school, I wanted to get away from home. I wanted to graduate. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to get away from home. Not even home. I just wanted to get away from my dad. Um, that was my biggest thing. Was I just want to get out and get away and go take care of myself. Also prove to him that I can do this without him. I can do all these things that you didn't think I could do, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to prove all that. And in my junior and senior year, not everything was hunky dory at home, but I had to push through because I knew I was too short. I knew once I finished school, that would come true. I'd have to go deal with all the stuff. And, oh, well, you're an adult and this and that. Yeah, of course, being an adult's hard. I already knew that from the beginning. The difference is I was dealing with other people's problems. I was dealing with the stress from my dad. But um, just know that high school is a temporary thing. It's very short in the scheme of things. Literally got a previous student. He's over here. He works here at the golf course, but he's over here playing golf with his friends right now because he's on break. So he's taking a little break. And he was a kid that he wasn't really struggling in school. Just had some issues, like just another teenager. Didn't know what he's gonna do with school, college, and now he's going to school. He's working. And he's having a good time. He's happy. I knew in school, high school, he's a little stressed out. Had a little bit of issues. Nah, it's crabgrass keeping me. But there's this light at the end of the tunnel. and don't give up. Don't, all that good stuff. And basically, like, let me be that testimony of it's gonna be okay. Like I said, when I was going through high school, I got into a couple fights with my dad. Um, I even ran away. I think that was middle school though. Ran away at some point. Uh, my dad was pretty abusive, verbally, physically, emotionally. Um, a lot of times I was like felt like he didn't never cared about me. Just need to walk up here. Just thought about that. And so I have a different personality. I was actually pretty smart kid. I was really determined to get away from home, do all these different things. Um, so my motivation was to get away from home. Right? Some of you guys don't have that. Yeah, the motivation. You don't have the knowledge. You don't have the ability to do this and that. My grades weren't great when I graduated. I passed, graduated, but I didn't have these 3.0s and 4.0s and all that stuff to get into UCLA and all that crap. Um, I had enough to get in. I had to write a letter to tell the college why they should let me in with my poor grades. Um, but even still, I got in and I moved on. And now look at me now. I'm prior military. I have a whole bunch of kids, married, second time. I'm a teacher. I teach special education. Um, it's kind of weird because I don't teach special education. I work with kids that are in special education program, and that's a very large realm of people. Um, Majority of my kids are always the very standard teenagers, just normal teenagers dealing with normal teenage stuff. They just learn a little different than others, or they take a little bit more time to do their work. Um, but they literally do the same exact work as all the other kids. They just need a little different kind of guidance. Remember, I talked about guidance before? That's all they need. Um, but what I'm noticing is a lot of my kids that their guidance they need lately is motivation. A lot of them aren't motivated to complete school, to be successful, because there's this bar of I gotta go to college. I gotta make my parents proud. I gotta uh, be overly successful. I gotta make $100,000 straight out of high school. None of that's real. That's not a real thing. I gotta be the best athlete. I gotta get uh, scouted and recruited to go to a D1 school. No, you don't. No one cares. You don't have to do all that. All you gotta do is not go to prison. What's up, man? Don't go to prison. Don't kill nobody. Don't do drugs. Don't beat your kids. Right? Don't eat yellow snow. Those are all the things you don't have to do all that stuff. Don't do all that stuff. I'm gonna move. Go back a little bit. Um, what's up, man? Good. Good to see you too. Um, Sometimes I wanna go where everybody knows your name. It's so easy when your name's DJ. Um, but yeah, you don't have to go and be this millionaire. You don't got to be D1 athlete. You don't got to go win championships. You don't got to put medals up on the mantle. You don't gotta do all that. You got to do whatever you want. Do whatever makes you happy. I'm not rich. I'm successful. I'm rich in the sense of my family. I'm rich in the sense of I need to start using this 52. I'm rich in the sense of happiness, I guess. I'm not a big baller. You might be like, oh, you golf. Golf's actually really cheap. Once you get the initial part of like getting clubs, and getting like you know, the gear. I mean, I find everything on military discount, but once you get all your gear, your clubs, and all that stuff, and you get the initial like hump, it's like getting a car. You gotta have a deposit, and then after you have the deposit, it's monthly payments, right? Same thing with golf. Like once you get oh, I'm like on a hill. Once you get into golf, once you get the clubs and stuff, you can go and get in and just start playing. Everything's pretty cheap. I have a monthly membership here, like a couple $100. So I come out here and use the course and I practice all the time. I don't have to pay every time I come out here. I get buckets of balls for free. I don't have to pay for this crap. You just gotta be smart with what you're doing, smart with your money, right? But yeah, man, you don't have to go and be you don't have to graduate head of your class. You don't have to have freaking 4.2. You don't have to do all that. Freaking bird is laughing at me. Um, um, hold on, like people peeing off. It need to be louder. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to be. I don't know. I think what happens is people set the bar a little too high and thinking that they have to um, have the best paying job. They got to have a 4 or 5 bedroom house. They got to have 2 cars. Oh, thanks. How you get the balls here? You got to have your kids. Got to have all the coolest clothes. You got to have all the expensive stuff. You don't have to do all that. All those things are just like wants. All those things are, you know, frivolous things. Even like golf clubs, like it's like used golf club. I pay like $50 for this. I think just right here. I think it's still on here. No, I pay $50 for this club. People are going out and spending 250 on clubs like this. I'm not doing that. I'm not at that point in my life. I have responsibilities. I have my kids. I have my wife. Well, actually, really more the kids. Once the kids are gone, yeah, we'll be rich after that because we lived the life based off of raising kids. But now, if we don't have kids anymore to raise, where that money going? Back to me. But you don't have to be this like TV person. All these people you see on TikTok, Instagram, TV, you don't have to be that. You don't have to be glamorous. Like it's okay to be just okay. Get food whenever you want? Can you put groceries in the house whenever you want? Do your kids have clean clothes? Do they have new clothes? Like you don't have to have the latest Kobe's and LeBrons and all that stuff, but do you have nice shoes? You can still get some LeBrons. Go to the outlet and buy them. You want some New Balances? You don't have to buy the brand new ones that are $220. Go to Joe's Nike or Joe's New Balance outlet. That's an actual website. Joe's New Balance outlet, you get some pretty good discounts. You may not find the exact ones you want, but they got some cheap New Balances in there. But you don't have to do all these things to impress other people. The most important person that you have to impress is yourself. Are you happy with yourself? Are you happy with what you're doing? Are you content? Are you good with this? Do you want more? Go get more. Do you want to do better? Go do better. If you think you can't do better, you can. You can do better. Everybody can do better. You always can do better than what you're doing. But the difference is, are you willing to do better? Are you going to go get it? Or are you going to go complain? You have to want whatever it is, but don't do things because of other people. You got to take care of yourself. And then think about, I don't know, it's rough now. Think about who's in your corner, who's there for you, who's trying to help you, who's trying to grow with you, like all that kind of stuff. freaking homing device on or something. Um, yeah, I don't know, but it just really bothers me that there's kids out there. Oh, need a turn. Really bothers me that there's kids out there that are doing well, trying to do well, and they're like their family, their parents, or whoever is supposed to be having their back, bringing them down. Why is it going down? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Um, um, but yeah. So if you're not going to college, you feel like you're not going to college, you're not going to college, you're not going to the military, that's okay. It's okay to just work. It's okay to figure it out. It's okay to go to community college. It's okay to go to like a trade school. This one I don't hit very well. It's okay to go to a trade school. It's okay to learn something. It's okay to just work. All those things are fine. Just as long as you're not doing nothing, just do something. That's what I do. Just do something. Um, but what what we got to start doing as a people, as adults, got to start looking out for these little people. Stuff was hard for us, yeah, but we were able to motivate ourselves. These little people now they can't motivate themselves. Try to at least, but we got to talk to one another. We got to help one another. Got to motivate one another, and just I don't know. Freaking speak up. Ask for help. Shit. I guess. I what kind of bird is that? I'm gonna hit these last three, and I need to go to the range and do something else. Actually, I was meant to use. I'm gonna go a little bit further back, but ah, ready too quick. Ah, long way. But kind of want to leave you with something, some good words. Um, if you feel as though, if you feel as though you're not good enough or doing good enough, you need to listen to all the positivity that's in your life. Right? At a matter of fact, that's a good point right there. Today I was teaching something, teaching some skills and going over some things, and I asked the kid to give me a breakdown of like how would he get started on his work. So I hand him his new assignment worksheet, whatever, and I'm like, okay, I'll give you this. What are you gonna do? What's your steps? He said, step one, I'm putting my name on the paper. I said, okay, cool. A lot of times students don't do that. You do all this work and you don't put your name on the paper and then somebody takes it. Or it's missing or the teacher didn't grade it because there's no name. Okay. So I said, all right, put your name on the paper, then what? And he said, after that, um, he said, I'm like looking to see how much work there is, like how many pages or how many questions. And then I'm going to break those down. We call that chunking. So I'm going to break those down and I'm going to see, oh, I can do this many pages in that in whatever hours, right? So we were looking at like 18 pages of work. And he was like, I can finish this in 2 hours. And I said, okay. So you're looking at 9 pages per hour. And he was like, yeah. And I said, okay. It's a little aggressive, but okay. I said, so what if you work for an hour goes up, set a timer or something like that, because you just want to monitor yourself. You work for an hour, and then the timer goes off, and you only have 3 pages done. I said, then what? And he goes, first thing he says, he goes, well, I'm gonna figure out like what was taking me so long. What was I doing that I wasn't like getting my work done or being productive, or like why didn't I get all those pages done? And then I said, okay, just wanted him to talk. So I said, after that, like, then what are you doing? And he's like, well, I'm going to try to figure out a way to like motivate myself to, uh, get pumped up to get the work done. And I said, okay. And I said, then after that, after you motivated yourself, what are you doing? He's like, well, then I'm gonna get. He's like, or what did he say? He said, after I motivate myself, figure it out. He's like, then I'll have to go back and like maybe change the number of pages um, to do per hour. Like maybe that was a little bit too much. And I was like, okay, so you're gonna reevaluate what your plan was, and then you're gonna change it and make it a little bit more accessible, like make it a SMART goal, as we would say, right? And he goes, yeah. And I said, okay. And I said, well, how about this? How about actually, hold on, let me step back. So what I said to him was, what you told me is you're gonna be negative to yourself. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna beat yourself up. You're gonna tear yourself down. That's the first thing. So first thing that this teenager said, um, if he didn't meet his goal, if he didn't succeed in whatever it was he was supposed to do, his first response of self-reflection is negativity. So you as an individual, you did something and you're gonna evaluate yourself, and the first thing you do is you notice you criticize yourself negatively, very very negative about yourself. That was the first thing he did. He was negative. Then I said, after you were negative to yourself, beat yourself up, then you said, I'm gonna motivate myself to get back on track and do what I need to do. So what I said was, I showed him like a graphic. I wrote on the board, and I did like drew a line, and I said, "This is you sustaining," and then you're beating yourself up. You're putting yourself down into a hole. Then I said, then you're gonna motivate yourself, bring yourself back up, right back to where you were at. So you're right back to where you started. So I said, the first thing you did was you were negative and you beat yourself up. I said, how about we get rid of the negativity? How about we just motivate ourselves? How about we just go straight to the reevaluation? I only got 3 pages done in an hour. Maybe I was a little aggressive. Maybe I just should change it to 4 pages. If I did 3 pages an hour, maybe I should change my goal to 4. And I said, what's the point of being negative? Why did you have to be negative to yourself instead of just saying, let me just change my ways? Let me just change whatever it is. And he was like, wow. He's like, I never thought about it like that. And he's like, I do that a lot. I said, and a lot of teenagers do it. First thing you guys do is you're negative. Why? Because everybody around you is like that. Everybody's pulling you down. You got a coach, your parent. I'm guilty of that sometimes. But a lot of times when I'm like negative, so to speak, I explain. This is why that I said this. This is why I was upset or whatever the case may be. I don't just beat you down and then that's it. But the thing is, the first thing that people are doing is they're saying negative things. You're already beating yourself up. So my advice is Get rid of the negative. Focus on all the good things that are happening, that are being said to you, that are going your way, right? Look at those positive things and keep trying to reach at those. Um, keep that energy in your life. Keep that negativity away, especially on yourself. Stop beating yourself up. There's plenty of people out there that's going to beat you up on their own. So you don't need to add to it. You don't need to beat yourself up too. Instead of beating yourself up, motivate yourself, do well, um, and keep those around you that are trying to build you up too. If people are always negative and always like beating you down, it's one thing to be critical. It's one thing to get some criticism, some constructive criticism. But it's one thing if somebody's always negative, like crabs in a barrel, always trying to pull you down, pull you down, pull you down. But somebody's trying to build you up when you're not happy with yourself. You don't like the way your body looks, and your partner's like, "Oh, you look great. You look beautiful. Your hair is a mess, or you feel like your hair is a mess. Oh, your hair looks nice. I really don't like the way this looks over here. It actually looks pretty good. This. I don't think my assignment or my writing didn't come out right. Actually, I read it and it sounds pretty good. Stop being so negative. You don't be oblivious, but stop being so negative. Be positive. You know, like that pushing positivity craze last year, year before. Be positive. Build yourself up. Because if you don't build yourself up, nobody else is. If you're tearing yourself down, everybody else is going to tear you down too. If you're not out here being positive, nobody's going to be positive for you. You got to want it more than everybody else. And that's all I got to say about that. But I need to get back to practice. I need to focus on my stuff. Practice. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to it. Finish this section right here. That's all I got. So you need to be positive, build people up, stop blading the ball, support one another. And if you're not helping, get out the way. It's the biggest thing for all the haters out there. If you're not helping, get out the way. Anyways, I'm gonna go. Done ranting. Thank you for being coachable. And as always, drink water.